everyone. We are students from Section 6 BIW 10203 Web Application. I am Derek T. Yi Meng from Group 4. My group members are Han Xiaohui, Lu Yizhe, and Chai Xiaohui. Today we are going to give a presentation about Web Application Architecture. Web Application Architecture is one of the models of interaction between web application components. Another way to say it is it's the skeleton of a web app, including its elements, databases, systems, servers, interfaces, and all the communication happening between them. Web application architecture is very important as it will improve customer satisfaction, have greater business results, have better application performance, and also enhance the security of the application. We just learned what a web application is, now let's see how it works. The process has three main sides: client side, database server, and server side. We as a client will type in URL in the relevant browser field and the browser will send the request to the domain name server to recognize the IP address. If successful, the browser will send a request to the server to respond. After that, the server will direct the request to the data storage to locate the page and request data display. Finally, the initially requested data will appear in the user's browser.
Hi, I am Han Xiaohui. Next, I will explain some web application components in this presentation, such as user interface, structural components, client components, and server components. First is the user interface, also called as UI/UX web application components. This includes dashboards, notifications, settings, and statistics. These components are not related to the operation of the web application architecture. Second, the structural components have been divided into the client side and server side. The client side involves the internet browser and client, while the server side involves the application server and database server. Third, the client components are developed in CSS, HTML, and JS. It will exist in the user's web browser and does not require operating system or device-related adjustments. Last is the server components that can be built using one or a combination of programming languages and frameworks like Java, .NET, Node.js, PHP, Python, and Ruby on Rails. The server component has at least two parts, which are the application logic and the database. There are three models of web application, which are one web server and one database, multiple web servers and one database, and multiple web servers and multiple databases. There are some advantages and disadvantages to these models. For the one web server and one database model, whenever a server fails, it will go down immediately and it is not reliable. For the multiple web servers and one database model, it can avoid failure because it has two web servers, so even if one of the web servers fails, the other one will be responsible. However, if the database crashes, the web application will follow. For multiple web servers and multiple databases, it has two options: either store the same data in all the adopted databases or distribute the data equally among these databases.
Hi, I am Lu Yizhe. Now I will explain about the typical modern web application. Typical web application is three-tier architecture that contain three layers, which are presentation layer, application layer, and data layer. Different teams can develop simultaneously because each layer allows for independent operation on its infrastructure. Next, each layer can be updated and expanded without affecting the others. In the presentation layer, it is the client-side component, front end. The client-side component of a web application architecture enables users to interact with the server and the back-end service via a browser. For application layers, it is divided into two parts, which are web server and server-side component. Web server is a server that run one or more websites or web apps, and it also uses HTTP to listen to user requests, while server-side component is received user requests, perform business logic, and delivers the required data.
Hi, I am Chai Xiaohui. I will continue the presentation. Data layer, known as database, which is a component of web application that store and manage information for a web app. Then is the application server and web server architecture. First is the Java-based web application architecture. It had provided high performance. Next is mobile application architecture. It is designed by various techniques and tools. Then is the Node.js web application architecture. It was a great option in developing cloud software. Last is the Ruby on Rails web application architecture. In this architecture, the convention always goes before configuration. That's all for our presentation. Thank you for listening.